Hello and welcome to class. So today we're going to be talking about on-page SEO. What is on-page SEO? Now, these are strategies and techniques used to optimize individual web pages for search engine. Keyword here is optimize. Now, what are some of these strategies that you use to make sure that your website or your web page is optimized to be searchable? Now, number one is title tags. Title tags are the clickable headline displayed on search engine result pages. So let me show you what a title tag is. So when you come across, okay, for instance, let's use TerraSkill's website. Okay, so this is an example of a title tag, a clickable headline, right? A clickable headline displayed on a search engine. This is a search engine, Google. And now this is a headline, learn a tech skill, Terra skills professional training in Abuja. It's a headline and then it is clickable. Now, this is what you call a title tag. And one of the best practices of a title tag is you should keep it under 60 characters. 60 characters is even long because at the end of the day, this is the only thing that you're going to be seeing, right? So it's very important that you keep it minimal in terms of text. And then you need to include primary keywords and will also make it compelling. What is going to compel a user to actually click on this title tag? Now that's what makes up an efficient title tag. So this is an example of a title tag. So the next thing is meta description, which is a brief summary of a page that appears below the title tag in search results. So this is an example of a meta description. This is the brief summary, right? And it appears under the title tag. So here you get to see what the website offers. Here we offer a variety of in-demand tech courses, including digital marketing, back-end development. Now, what is important here is that you make sure you incorporate your keywords, like what exactly your brand is about, in order for a user to be able to know exactly what this page is about even before clicking the page. So you see how here it shows exactly what the brand is about and the courses that it offers, even without going on board to the website itself, right? So this is an example of a meta description. Now we also have headers. Headers are structure your content with headings to make it readable and optimized. So let me show you an example of a header. For instance, let's go to TerraSkill's blog page. Now that's where you find your headers. So when you come here, click on blogs and resources. So you see a lot of blog posts here. So we're just gonna click on one of these. So let's use this. What's happening? Okay. So let's click on this blog post. So headers. So these are examples of header. Now this is your header one, which is your first header in the body of your post, right? So after this, it doesn't end here. You get to see another header. This is your header two, your H2. So which has its own information under it. And then you see header three, why data analytics is important. Header four, the key steps in data analytic process. Then you also even have header five. Now, headers are very important on page SEO strategies. Why is it important? It makes it easier for your content to be read, and it makes it very optimized. Inside of these headers, you can have keywords, right, that will make the blog post or the page to be searchable. For instance, data analysis is a keyword, right? If you go down, you can see key steps in data analysis process. So now inside of these headers, you have keywords. So that is why it is one of the factors that guarantees an optimized and readable website. So this is an example of a header. So moving on, we have alt text for images. So this describes the content of images for search engines and for accessibility purposes. Now, for the first reason is for search engines. So let me show you an example of an alt text. And I'm sure you've come across, maybe for instance, you're making a post. I think LinkedIn does this. You're making a post. When you want to make the post, you upload a picture, right? And maybe a text. And then when you upload the picture, you see an option where you are asked to enter the alt text, which is the description of that particular picture. Now, one of the reasons this is important is that it's important for its searchability. And number two reason is for its accessibility purposes. That's, for instance, for people that are visually impaired, they have certain devices that they use to read, right? So if you have an alt text on your image, a visually impaired person can be able to tell what that image is, right? So let me show you an example of what this is. So for instance, this is an image, right? So for me to check now if it has an alt text, I just right click, open image in new tab. Now, the description is usually on the URL. For instance, the description of this picture is data analytics blog. Now, that's the description of the picture. That is meant to be where the alt text is, right? So that is the meaning of alt text. When you describe your image, so it's usually done before you upload that particular image, right? So, and lastly, URL structure. URL structure is clean, readable URLs with relevant keywords. Now, some URLs can be very, very disorganized, comprises of a lot of numbers, a lot of words that do not really make sense as a whole. So, right, for an on-page SEO practice, you need to keep your URL structure very clean, readable, and with relevant keywords. For example, we have okay, so this is the URL of this page here. So you can see that the URL is understanding data analytics. So there's nothing that is confusing about it. So when you are even on the page, even without looking at what's on the page, you can already tell that this page is going to tell you about data analytics, right? So this is an example of a clean URL. Now, these are all on-page SEO practices. That is practices that you do while you are making your post, while you are creating your content on page. So this is what it's about. Now, these practices makes your website to be optimized. For instance, when you have a title tag, it makes that content to be searchable. When you have meta descriptions, it shows your audience exactly what that content is about, right? And then when you have headers, it makes it to be readable and also optimized. Now, these are examples of on-page SEO. Now, I hope that is as clear as possible. So secondly, now we're going to be looking at off-page SEOs. What are off-page SEO? So the first one is backlink building. What is backlink building? Now, backlink building is getting links from other reputable sites to yours. So I'm going to show you an example of a backlink. It is when your website link is placed on another website. So it's like that website is referring you through a link, like it's referring to your own website through a post on its own website. Now, let me not get you confused, right? So for instance, let's check out what an example of a backlink looks like. So let's go on Forbes. So this is Forbes website, right? So these are posts, right? These are contents on the website. So let's search for a backlink website. So let's click on this post, for instance. So this is the post. We're just going to look for a backlink, what a backlink looks like. So these are all links. So you can see that when I hover on it, it becomes clickable. You see the link is showing. So these are all backlinks. So when you click on this link, it takes you to another website. So that means that this is for instance, this is a backlink to this website, right? So there are links that are embedded in a website that takes you to another website. So this is a backlink. So when you click on the link, it takes you to the website that is being mentioned. Now you can see that we were on Forbes website and now we are on the Wall Street Journal website. So that is a backlink, and that is one of the off-page SEOs. So when a user is on this page and is reading through this blog post, can easily just say, oh, I want to know more about this data research from Wolfie, cited by the Wall Street Journal. So when a reader is going through this and they want to know more about a particular thing that was mentioned, they can decide, oh, let me click on this, and then it takes them to the actual website where the post is on. That is an example of a backlink, and that is an example of an off-page SEO strategy, right? So moving on, we also have social signals. Now, social signals is social media mentions and shares that can indirectly influence rankings by driving traffic and engagement. Now, this is pretty easy. Now, some of the posts we share on social media that you share a post on social media and another user sees the post and then goes to the website of through that post. This is an example of a social signal. It's that easy. And then we also have guest blogging. Guest blogging is writing articles for other websites and including a link back to your own website. I think this is pretty straightforward. When you write articles for a website and when you are writing that article, you include a link that goes back to your own website. And lastly, we have brand mentions. Brand mentions is ensuring your brand is mentioned on other reputable websites, even if there is no link. Now, this is an example. A brand can just mention, can talk about a particular subject, even if there is no link. A user can on his own decide to go and check that website and discover what it's about. So it doesn't even have to have a link like this one, but as long as it is being mentioned, that is a brand mention. Now, these are examples of off-page SEO strategies that makes your website optimizable, right? So that's it on page and off-page SEO. So as a digital marketer, these are some of the strategies you can use in order to ensure that a business is SEO optimized. A business website is properly optimized. You can decide to go for the on-page methods, which includes, including your title tags, putting meta description, headers, adding alt text for your images, and creating a URL structure that is readable and clean. Or you can equally decide to do off-page, which is doing backlinks, buildings. There are some certain websites that you can get permission for them to include your website link in their posts, right? So that's how you can create this backlink building. And then social signals, your social media efforts is what will give you this. And then guest blogging and brand mentions. Now, these are some of the strategies you can implement as a digital marketer in order to optimize websites, right? So that's basically it on page and off page SEO. I hope this was very clear, and I guess I'll see you in the next class.